Who is Kendrick Lamar? The birth of a legend, from Compton to the world. Kendrick Lamar Duckworth was born on June 17, 1987, in Compton, California. Compton is not just a city in hip-hop history, it is a trauma, a legacy, and a curse. The birthplace of NWA, Tupac Shakur, and Eazy. These streets were defined by violence, drugs, gang wars, and police brutality. Kendrick's family moved from Chicago to Compton. His father had once been involved in street life. His mother was a strong presence, trying to protect her son from that destiny. But in Compton, protection was always relative. At the age of 5, Kendrick witnessed a man being shot and killed in front of his father. Had once been involved in street life, his mother was a strong presence, trying to protect her son from that destiny. But in Compton, protection was always relative. At the age of 5, Kendrick witnessed a man being shot and killed in front of his father. That moment carved a permanent scar into his subconscious, a scar that would later shape nearly every song he ever wrote. That is why Kendrick's music was never just music. It was a testimony, a confession, and a reckoning. The K-Dot era, finding a voice before being lost. During his teenage years, Kendrick began rapping under the name K-Dot at just 16. He released his first mixtape, Youngest Head Nigga in Charge, which gained attention in the local scene. But this period was also the most dangerous chapter of his life. Kendrick would later say, "If it wasn't for music, I wouldn't be alive today." Most of his friends were killed, went to prison, or fell into addiction. Kendrick survived by writing poetry. Rap was not an escape, it was a survival mechanism. Top Dog Entertainment, a turn of fate. In 2005, Kendrick's life changed forever when he was discovered by Top Dog Entertainment TDE, an independent label that also housed J-Rock, Schoolboy Q, A.B. Small. Within TDE, Kendrick grew not just as a rapper, but as a writer and thinker. Abandoning the name K-Dot and embracing Kendrick Lamar symbolized a deeper transformation, a rebirth of identity. Section 80, a quiet but deep revolution. Released in 2011, Section 80 didn't dominate the charts, but it shattered souls. The album tackled systemic oppression, the trauma of Black youth identity crises, America's hypocrisy. The hip-hop world slowly began to realize, this kid is different. Good Kid, MAAD City, an album like a movie. In 2012, Good Kid, MAAD City transformed Kendrick from a promising artist into a future legend. The album told a complete story from beginning to end, portrayed a young man's struggle to survive in Compton, was autobiographical. Yet universal, every song felt like a scene, every skit felt like trauma. Kendrick became a critic's favorite, a rapper's rapper, a voice listeners saw themselves in. Kendrick Lamar's hidden dark sides, depression and self-loathing. Kendrick never loved fame. In interviews, he has openly spoken about loneliness, self-hatred, deep guilt, especially after losing friends to violence. Kendrick struggled with survivor's guilt, a theme that echoes throughout his music. Turning to faith. As his career progressed, Kendrick turned increasingly toward the Bible. His album, Damn, revolves around themes of sin, destiny, punishment, and redemption. To Pimp a Butterfly, a bomb thrown at the system. Released in 2015, To Pimp a Butterfly was not just an album, it was a manifesto. It addressed racism, capitalism, the exploitation of Black bodies, America's darkest truths. Through this album, Kendrick was praised by President Obama, became a subject in university courses, performed in chains on the Grammy stage. At this point, Kendrick was no longer just a rapper. He was a political and cultural figure. The beginning of the Drake feud, a silent war. The first crack, Kendrick and Drake were once friends. Drake even brought Kendrick on tour. Everything changed in 2013 with Big Sean's track, Control. Kendrick called out multiple rappers by name, including Drake, declaring dominance. "I'm the king of New York, king of the coast." Drake perceived this as disrespect, a threat. Subtle diss tracks and psychological warfare. The feud unfolded not through constant direct attacks, but through coded messages and lyrical subtext. Kendrick's side, King to the Heart series. Like that with Future and Metro Boomin, Drake's side. The language, energy, push-ups, family matters. This battle became about who is more popular, who is more authentic, who truly represents hip-hop. 202 for 2025. Open war and history in the making. By 2024, the subliminals disappeared. The diss tracks became direct and brutal. Kendrick's lyrical precision, psychological dissection, attacks on Drake's authenticity shook the hip-hop world. Many critics agreed. This is the biggest rap battle since Nas versus Jay-Z. Why Kendrick Lamar is so dangerous? Because Kendrick doesn't chase fame, doesn't write for money, dismantles his opponent's character, not just their bars. He uses rap as a mirror. Conclusion, more than a rapper. Kendrick Lamar is a child of the streets, a poet, a preacher, a warrior. He is the conscience of hip-hop. And maybe that's why beating him takes more than talent. It takes a soul. Why did Kendrick Lamar and Drake clash? The real reason behind hip-hop's most explosive modern feud. It started with respect, not hate. What makes this feud so fascinating is that Kendrick Lamar and Drake were once allies. Drake brought Kendrick on tour in the early 2010s. Kendrick publicly praised Drake. Both were seen as the future of hip-hop. At the time, the industry viewed them as two different forces. Drake represented commercial dominance. Kendrick represented lyrical and artistic credibility. There was no open tension yet, just mutual respect. The turning point, the Control verse, 2013. Everything changed in 2013 with Kendrick Lamar's verse on Big Sean's Control. In that verse, Kendrick named Drake directly, along with several other rappers, and essentially said, "I respect you, but I'm here to outrun all of you." In hip-hop culture, this wasn't just confidence, it was a challenge. Kendrick's intention, revive competitive rap, declare himself the best, push hip-hop forward. Drake's perception, disrespect, a public power move. A direct threat to his position. That verse created the first real fracture. The real issue, only one can sit on the throne. This conflict was never just about ego. It was about leadership in hip-hop. Drake represented global popularity, chart dominance, streaming power, a blend of pop and rap. Kendrick represented pure lyricism, cultural authenticity, social consciousness, album-driven artistry. The industry started asking, who is the true face of hip-hop? That question forced these two onto a collision course. Why, Drake took it personally. Kendrick's underlying message was dangerous for Drake because it attacked his weakest point, authenticity. Through subtle lyrics, Kendrick implied that Drake benefited from the culture without fully representing it, was more pop star than rapper, lacked lived experience for Drake, whose image relied on credibility as much as success. This was a serious threat. A decade of subliminal warfare, 2013-2023. 4 years, neither artist went fully direct. Kendrick's strategy, coded lyrics, moral and character critique, positioning himself as the culture. Drake's strategy, flexing status, money, and dominance, emphasizing success and relevance, sending indirect responses. This was psychological warfare, not just rap beef. The explosion, 2024 and Like That. The tension finally exploded in 2024 when Kendrick appeared on Future and Metro Boomin's Like That. In that verse, Kendrick directly dismissed Drake, rejected the idea of a big three, asserted that he stood alone at the top. From that moment on, no subliminals, no politeness. It became open war. YIT became so big because this wasn't just two artists arguing, it was two philosophies of hip-hop colliding. Drake, Kendrick, industry culture, hits albums, popularity, legacy, image, identity. Fans didn't just listen, they chose sides. Why Kendrick went so hard? For Kendrick, this wasn't personal, it was principled. He viewed Drake as a symbol of commercialization, someone who turned culture into a product, a threat to hip-hop's integrity. Kendrick felt this battle had to happen. Why Drake couldn't back down? Drake had no choice but to respond. His throne was being challenged. Silence would look like defeat. His entire brand depended on dominance. Backing down would have meant losing control of the narrative. The real reason, in one sentence, this feud wasn't driven by hatred. It was driven by the throne who was right. There's no single answer. Drake won the industry. Kendrick won the cultural argument. According to hip-hop experts and music writers, Kendrick Lamar is seen as the winner of the battle due to the subtlety of his lyrics and the successful rhythm in his released songs. Looking at their careers, the two famous musicians occupy different ends of the rap world. Kendrick Lamar, the first rapper to win a Pulitzer Prize in music, is described as one of the most successful names in hip-hop due to his political stance, support for Black rights, and sophisticated songwriting. Drake, known for his hard work, is one of the world's most popular musicians due to his pop-oriented compositions, commercial appeal, streaming numbers, and large fan base. Originally, these two rappers collaborated and produced songs together early in their careers. However, this friendship eventually turned into rivalry. And given the significant role of rivalry within hip-hop culture, a conflict between Kendrick Lamar and Drake had been anticipated for years. Through detailed research and references to each other's musical styles and lyrics, their rivalry escalated into a heated war involving accusations of racism, violence, pedophilia, and targeting their families. Their families became the target in the song First Person Shooter, featured on Drake's October album For All the Dogs and performed with rapper J. Cole. Cole described himself, Lamar, and Drake as the best hip-hop musicians in the world. The rivalry was ignited when Lamar, in his March contribution to the song Like That, stated that he was the only best hip-hop musician. In the midst of this music marathon, which included criticisms of each other's music careers and lyrics, Drake released a song called Tailor-Made Freestyle on Instagram, in which he uses AI to animate the voices of legendary hip-hop singers Tupac Shakur and Snoop Dogg. Tupac Shakur was forced to withdraw the song due to a request made by the copyright holders through their lawyers. However, in the last week, the songs released by musicians have mostly turned into compositions targeting and insulting their families. In his song Euphoria, released last week, Kendrick Lamar accused Drake of having plastic surgery and being a bad father. Drake, in his song Family Matters, accused Lamar of cheating on and physically abusing his fiancée, Whitney Alford. In Meet the Grams, Lamar claimed that Drake had a secret daughter. In a later version of Meet the Grams, he also alleged that Drake had relationships with underage girls. He even used Drake's mansion as the visual for the song. allegations unconfirmed. In his song The Heart Part 6, released Sunday night, Drake stated that Lamar used the allegations of having a secret daughter as bait to trap him. Drake also emphasized that it was impossible for him to look at underage girls, telling Lamar, "I knew you'd fall for the Epstein trap." Jeffrey Epstein, the U.S. billionaire who reportedly committed suicide in his cell in 2019, was accused of sexually abusing numerous people, including underage girls, and engaging in sex trafficking. It is unknown whether the accusations leveled against each other are true. None have been confirmed yet. According to some rap commentators, what matters in such exchanges is not whether the allegations can be proven, but choosing lyrics that will energize the listeners. On the other hand, the fact that the songs have taken a very personal turn creates the expectation that this exchange will die down for now. Who else won? Even though Lamar is thought to have done more research and composed his songs more subtly for this battle, who else benefited from this clash? According to commentators, Drake didn't exactly lose either, because he's already a big name, and the increase in his song listens and popularity means Drake also benefited. This feud between two of the most successful hip-hop artists of this era has also led to heated discussions among fans on social media. In the past, rap feuds lasted longer, albums were released, concerts were held, and the rivalry was kept alive throughout the musicians' careers. However, with the digitalization of music, this feud between Lamar and Drake may be the last of this magnitude in the hip-hop world. Generations who grew up listening to rap battles are a thing of the past. From the 2000s, among rappers in their 20s today, a major feud is rare, apart from online verbal sparring. While the Lamar-Drake feud may be entertaining for hip-hop listeners, seeing these big musicians embroiled in serious allegations of domestic violence and sexual harassment raises further questions. The possibility of negatively impacting the lives of other people mentioned in the songs is also a cause for Cernad Carson, an academic who studies hip-hop at the University of Virginia in the U.S., told ABC Television that the real winners are media companies and digital music platforms. Final thought, this clash proved one thing. Hip-hop is more than music. It's identity, power, representation, and sometimes there's only room for one king on the stage. From ashes to legend, every story has a rhythm. You just have to listen deeply.